Hey, everybody. Hit that like, share the show. Big show today, obviously. I'm here, don't worry. Give me 1 minute, we'll be up. I think we're up on Instagram. Thanks everybody for joining. I see Substack is up and running. Excellent. If you're on Substack, give me a restack if you could, or just hit some hearts or say something in the chat room. That helps us with the algorithm. Even if it's just hi, hello. Give me an emoji. Twitch, folks. There you go. Thank you, Twitch, folks. Throw some emojis around. There we go. What a fucking day. All right, let's get at this. Because I gotta say, hi, everybody. Welcome to House Parks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc. Obviously, you guys have heard the news. Charlie Kirk has died. He was shot at an event in Utah on a college campus. I don't know about the rest of you, but I saw the video of him actually getting shot. And I knew he was not going to make it the second I saw it. There was no way they were going to be able to clear him from that space and get him to the hospital in time to save his life. I'm sure they were able to stabilize and hold on to him for a little bit, but it was effectively a direct hit in his carotid artery. I don't know if the person was trying to shoot him in the heart or the head when he was bending over, but it was a single shot that assassinated him clearly. It's a brutal thing to see. I got to be completely honest that my heart breaks for his wife and kids. Beyond, we have to be able to separate the irony of him being killed in this way after basically just shrugging it off when it happened to everyone else in his life. That does not make the weight and pain of this experience any easier for his wife and children. It's just terrible. And you guys know how I feel about political violence. I am 100% against it. I am against the death penalty, especially when there is no trial and no due process. I'm against it when there is a trial and due process, even for people that I think deserve it, because you can't undo that kind of a wrong. And the same thing applies in this circumstance. And when it comes to political violence, it is not the answer. It never will be the answer. And I've had a couple people over the last little bit bring up the French Revolution as if, there's some sort of logic to the masses when they rise up and start knocking people over. And I have to keep pointing out that in the French Revolution, 70% of the people that were killed were poor. Just people that the public decided, hey, while we're killing people, we might as well get rid of the ones we don't like, the ones that are uncomfortable, have our own little, like our own, Salem witch trial on steroids while we got the guillotine set up. And I'm against it. I always will be against it. And I don't need to waver in that because I'm not for or against these kind of things because of what's going on in the world or what's going on in other people's ethics. I'm not against it because somebody else is for it. And I'm not against it because somebody else told me to be against it. It is my own ethic, and it will not be moved. So, fuck that nonsense, and it's really terrible. It also, boy, does this give Pam Bondi an excuse to not have to bust open the Epstein files, wouldn't you say? The longer the shooter stays in the wind, the more Kash Patel and Bongholio and everybody got bigger fish to fry. I don't know who it's going to turn out. Got rid of this dude, but there is an upside for those in power right now. So, yeah. Hi, chat room. And it's funny because people are like, telling people what to say, or I'm not going to tell anybody what to feel. And I'm going to advise people on what's advisable to say and what reaction you might have to it online. But you do realize you don't have to put a thumb on this scale at all. You don't have to throw your 2 cents in. You don't have to have Charlie Kirk's ironic end hang over your head forever. You can simply point it out, and there's no fucking shelf life on it. 6-7 years later, it's still ironic that Herman Cain died because Donald Trump thought COVID would go away. And it's still poetic, and it's still ironic, and it still makes the point. What's a 5.56? It's the bullet caliber that was allegedly used. Nobody knows. If people are talking out of their ass. That's the other thing about stuff like this, is that in the news, like everybody, you've got so little details, and it's such a high profile thing that everybody immediately goes into speculation. Where does this go? Where will it end up? What's it going to change? Will anything change at all? And nobody can say anything. Like, here's what I think the response should be. There should be a response that fixes something like this. This is what should happen, but whether it will or not, especially considering who's in charge, there's no guarantee or no word on this. There is no suspect insofar as, like, moments ago when I've checked, there is no suspect in custody. There was talk on the campus that they had somebody in custody almost immediately, and and the school has walked that back, and the authorities have not said anyone is in custody. Whoever they are, they're in the wind. They had somebody, but it wasn't the person who did it. Like, whoever they had in custody or the people that they grabbed thinking maybe that was the person. So far, the authorities have not either said it was them, and the school itself jumped the gun on it. Just because they arrested somebody doesn't mean they arrested the person, right? Especially because it was an old man with his pants around his ankles, for real, that they were dragging away. And there have been reports that people spotted a shooter dressed all in black, wearing a black mask, carrying a black bag that more than likely had a long gun in it and shit like that. But in situations like this, there's gonna be all this crap, right? There's gonna be all this, like, nobody knows, so everybody wants what everybody wants to know. So there's so much room for people to make shit up or read too much into something. And there's no value in it. Right? There's no value. The truth of this situation will be true tomorrow, and 10 days from now, and a year from now. So the race to try and like fill in the gaps immediately, if you're not in a direct area. Now, the authorities have a reason to do this. Locals have a reason to do this because they have a shooter in their midst. As long as they don't have the person, it could be anybody. So as long as that's going on, the people in that area have the right to panic, speculate their ass off. Everybody else is just talking out of their ass. And so there's an incredible value in checking yourself when it's happening, holding your own emotions and not letting someone else come along and throw a bit in your mouth and use whatever your natural reaction to it or your unnatural reaction or blah, 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 to mess with this. It just doesn't make any sense to like let the situation, until you know stuff, direct how you feel about it. You can decide how to feel once you have the facts. Now, about whoever did it. I would say, no matter who did it, fuck them. It happened on, I think it was a Utah State campus. He was giving one of these prove me wrong things, which is basically a thing that Turning Points USA stole from Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder used to do this, I don't know, women can't be men, there are only two genders, prove me wrong or whatever. Like he did those, change my mind. That's what it was. Change my mind. He did the change my mind thing. And Turning Points USA manipulated that and turned it into a political action, fundraising and voter outreach mechanism where he would go there and do these prove me wrong things and effectively just taking. I think you guys have seen the memes about Steven Crowder. Change my mind. Yeah, pick. I'll show you a pic. This images. There you go. There's a thing where he did so many of them that it became a meme. Whoops, why is that in there? Sorry. This is me looking at the feed of stuff. Hold on one second. Why are you doing that? You crazy thing. Hold on. Let me go back to here real quick. Chat room. There you go. Bring in the chat room. Why is that? Okay. I guess it's I don't even know what's in that window. All right. Always fun trying to do technical shit live as it happens. Tools, source doc, screen capture, visible. There you go. And properties. There you go. Okay. That's not. No, I don't want filters. I want properties. Okay. One moment. Yeah, okay, here we go. This will do it. Here we go. So this is, that's Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder has a show called Louder with Crowder, and he's been doing this whole like change my mind thing, low res on campuses for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, low res would take that with a grain of salt because he's a multimillionaire because of this, just like a bunch of these other assholes, and he was able to turn down a $50 million offer from Daily Wire because it wouldn't be profitable compared to the kind of shit happened. Okay, so he started doing these. It became so frequent that, change my mind became a meme. And I'll show you some of the funny ones that people have come up with, let's see, here's a good one. The Stephen Crowder change, back up. Meme wiki, here you go. Pee is stored in the balls, change my mind. Gonna drink this mug of hot piss, because he is always having a mug in his hand, change my mind. What's this one? The clitoris is a myth, change my mind. Right, okay. So it just became so dunkable. War is so bad, dude, change my mind. Right, I don't know, whatever that one was in reference to. But the point is that was what, that's how Crowder sort of made his bones in the right-wing spheres, that he would show up and do these change my mind things. And there's a ton. It's a trap. Change my mind. This one's good. Can I just show you this one real quick? Hold on. Start this up. These are. This one's pretty rock solid. It's a trap. Change my mind as Admiral Akbar. Pineapples don't belong on pizza. Change my mind. Male privilege is a myth. Change my mind. Right. These are. So he does a bunch of these things. Okay. Charlie Kirk basically stole that concept from Steven Crowder. Like, I can go around with my multi-million-dollar Republican billionaire-backed organization and do a much bigger event sitting under this thing with, giving away merch and all this kind of stuff, turning this thing that Steven Crowder did into an industry. And so a lot of what Turning Points USA did, for the record, none of it was new. Most of it was stolen. And a lot of it has, and they'll continue it on, I'm saying, talk about it in past tense, but it's because of his involvement in this. CPAC and Turning Points USA are the same fucking machine. Same speakers, same gatherings, same everybody. Ted Cruz talked at both. It's the only difference is that in the case of Charlie Kirk, it was run by, a 20 something when he first started it, right wing, heterosexual, and in the case of CPAC, it's run by an aging gay sexual predator who's married to a woman. So but everything else about it basically overlaps. So and I keep seeing people referencing this. I want to show you this. So this is what is still going around about Charlie Kirk. In case you don't know and what he's saying and all this stuff, this is the piece of. It's the only time he said it, but this is. See if this is playing right.
To have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base? To have a call.
So you get this point. You're going to have some shootings, and that's the price of having a Second Amendment, and it's a good deal. That was his argument. And that's why everybody's pointing out the irony of his death at the hands of a shooter. And so the interesting thing about this is, and I was thinking about watching this because, again, I will not celebrate political violence or violence of any kind. Just won't do it. But I find it fascinating. There was a Denver shooting today, and this is kind of the grotesquely ironic part of it. I don't even know at this point if we last I saw that. It was at a high school. 3 kids were injured at a shooting at a Denver area high school. Critically wounded. Let's see. There we go. Get out of here. All the ads. All right. 3 teens critically wounded in suburban Denver high school shooting. Authorities say the shooting was at 12:30. It's not clear what led up to it or how the suspected shooter, believed to be a student at the school, was shot. None of the law enforcement. Okay. So one of them might be one of the three. Might have tried to do himself in or herself in. Is that the idea? Over 100 police officers from Denver area rushed to the school to try. The sheriff's office is the same agency that responded to the Columbine school. Yeah, that's right. So this happened today. 3 teens were critically wounded at a suburban Denver high school. And Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. In this school, in this situation, hopefully all 3 of these will pull through, even the shooter. Because again, a minor child is a minor child is a minor child. That said, if it wasn't, whether or not Charlie Kirk had been shot today, this would be ancient history tomorrow, even if one of these kids dies, because of the shootings that we have in this country. And Charlie Kirk and his ilk and everybody at Turning Points USA would not only say, well, shit happens, but they would shrug it off and everybody would get on with their lives. They literally just like scroll and what's for dinner. Right? For real. I mean, I'm like uncritically saying this. Like, even without any, like, me moralizing about this, it happens so commonly that somebody gets shot in these situations that everybody'd be like, there are people who feel it particularly, and they might have drawn attention to it, but the public as a whole doesn't remember the shooting that happened a month ago, or the names of the kids that were killed in that Catholic church, right? Or the one before that, or before that, right? So, in this particular instance, the idea, though, that the universe grinds to a halt because a guy who advocated blowing these kind of circumstances off and actively doing nothing about it, basically assigning us all to live in an open-air prison to combat it, where, what he said in that clip, by the way, when he was saying, how do we stop it at baseball games? Well, we put in magnetometers and we surround the place and we have guards at baseball games and that kind of stuff. Well, baseball games, are optional things, unlike school. And baseball stadiums are private spaces, and the taxpayer doesn't have to pay for those. It's up to the security is up to the business that runs that team to make sure people can go there. Whereas you should be expected to go to a public space and be free from violence in that regard, because the cops have to take care of it or whoever. So you're laying it on the taxpayer instead of just dealing with this shit. So in Charlie Kirk's world, this not only is forgettable, but it is necessary to protect free speech on fucking Twitter. Is that, you see what I'm talking about here? Like, tomorrow, if this hadn't happened almost at the same time and you were watching the news when Charlie Kirk had been shot, you might not have even noticed this one, because they're so, it's so normal, sadly. So you can be forgiven for moving on quickly if you're not in the immediate area of Utah while they're looking for the shooter. If you're there, I would suggest get indoors. Don't answer the door unless you recognize the person. It could be the shooter running about trying to find a place to hole up, right? Like, that would, in a situation where someone has been killed and the shooter is on the loose, there are steps that need be taken by the people who are in the local vicinity. But everybody else, I got to tell you, I'm not wiping away I'm more concerned about the damage done to his family and his close friends than any of the transactional relationships he had in the Republican Party who were jumping on this and talking about it, like, we need a statue. Like, fuck you. You guys are already eulogizing him, and the shooter's still out there. If this was any other situation, they'd be like, where's the fucking shooter? Where are they? A lightning angel, a alleged shooter. No, the actual shooter is out there. It's only an alleged shooter if you find somebody and you say they are the shooter. Yeah, the Burning Man murder is another example. Like, the what? In all these situations, you are not responsible for putting your thumb on the scale in this conversation in any way, any more than you would have over this particular shooting. You can simply allow it to play out because it is out of your hands and requires nothing from you. Because I'm fairly certain most of the people who watch my show, with the exception of the occasional maggot who's out there, want something done about gun violence. Don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen, and I don't want people like Charlie Kirk shot. At all. I don't. Boston Brian sent me something. Oh, that's very sweet. I didn't see that. Hold on one second. I did see his post earlier, and it was great. There we go. Hold on. Was it in the YouTube situations? I'm sorry if I didn't see it go by. I'm busy listening to the sound of my own voice. Let's see. I'm checking. But again, this is less about the circumstance, which, by the way, is happening and shall happen and will continue to happen. It's less about that. You have to recognize, let's see, Brian, this reeks of an criminal cover-up to make a dual confusing scenario to draw attention to failing presidency. I would argue, yeah, Boston Brian, I think it has a lot, to me, I'm like, nothing would help Pam Bondi not talk about Epstein more than this. I don't know if I'm all in on believing that, but it's a very convenient thing. If they allowed themselves, I bet somebody in the DOJ around her would go, we don't have to talk about Epstein for a while. I mean, I don't like it, but beats the shit out of showing these pictures, right? Charlie's last words were about gang violence. Yeah, he was talking about, like, somebody asked him about shooters, like about mass shootings, and then he was killed. And, again, another fit of irony. And then you go, okay, if that was the case and then he was shot, is the person who asked this question, did they know that person was going to ask that question? That would be one of the things I would be asking if I was in the FBI right now. I'd go talk. Sorry. The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Oh, okay, thank you. He is in custody. Okay, so Kash Patel said it. All right. Now in custody. Thank you for the local and state authorities for partnership with the FBI. We will provide updates when able. They have not said. As of now, no official suspect has been named in the Charlie Kirk shooting. Reports conflict. Some CBS, NBC say the suspect is in custody but unidentified. Others say he's okay. It's behind in that. Okay, so the person that did this, I'm sure we're going to start seeing a bleed on this. Let's see. And Elon Musk is posting, the left is the party of murder. Again, how does that not call for more fucking violence? Jesus Christ. So a bunch of this... Also, as anti-Christian rapid left-wing violence. Andrew Tate just posted civil war. Like, really? It's going to be that fucking easy? That's what it's going to take to get you to kill your own fucking countrymen, is one dude with a gun shoots another guy, and that's where everybody's on the fucking hook? Like, where's again, just garbage, whatever. They want this to ratchet and turn into something because they can't win an argument based on ideas, so they're trying to fight in the streets because they think. It's one of the reasons why Charlie Kirk was unprotected in that circumstance, because I'm sure he was convinced that he's on the side that has the guns. It's easy to talk about gun violence when, when you believe it only happens in gang areas, right? It only happens in black areas, and he's never going to hang out there, right? That's clearly part of his belief system. And the other part is that he thinks the right is the side with all the guns. Or believed, beg your pardon. This is Alex Jones jumped on it, said, breaking sources on the ground tell InfoWars Charlie Kirk has been dead for over an hour. This was an hour ago, so for 2 hours. According to law enforcement security who were at the scene, Charlie Kirk was killed by a high-powered rifle shot to the neck.
The rifle and all the rest of it, high-powered rifle. I've got some really bad news for people. I just got a call 5 minutes ago from a very trusted source who's never been wrong, connected to 3-letter agencies, who's very close to people that were on the ground there when Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah today. And he died a long time ago. So he's dead. And I got a call saying, where are you getting your info? He might be alive. And I said, I'm getting off the news. They said, no, he's dead. That's directly from people on the ground. I'll leave it at that. Very close to Charlie. So they killed him.
Again, listen to the word they. Who the fuck? What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean they? Officials provide an update on the failed shooting. Okay, so are they doing a briefing? Okay, here we go. So let's check in on this briefing real quick.
The FBI Special Agent in Charge, Robert Bowles. We'll then hear from Utah Valley University Vice President Val Peterson, who's been in touch with President Jimenez. And then we'll hear from Governor Cox. I'll turn the time over to Commissioner Mason.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. Today at approximately 12:20 Mountain Standard Time, political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot in an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later passed. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We are working in unison with the County Sheriff's Office, the local police department, and the University Police Department, all of which have been very cooperative and fully engaged in this process. Shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an...
What did he, like, not cooperate because he wasn't the shooter at an assassination?
Active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual.
Oh, they said it. Annette saying, why did they say his name? They're saying his name because people online and on Fox News were saying his name, so they've got to clear this guy so that he doesn't get, like, caught up in this. Like, that's the crucial point. Because he was arrested, there's a lot of video of this guy getting arrested. So they've got to point out that he's not the dude.
This is a tragic moment in our state and in our country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who is struggling with news of the incident.
Video audio is low. Yeah, I know. That's from them. Hold on. I'll see if I can find a louder version of it. Let's see. Give me 1 second as I bring that up.
Suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you...
Hold on.
Shot in an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private.
Okay, that's quiet too. I don't know. Like, are their mics not on? What the fuck? Okay.
In custody, I would just.
Okay, yeah, here you go. This is a little louder. Hold on.
And all.
Equipment in.
His daughter is a veteran of the Navy. She was a doc at Camp Pendleton.
Has not been arrested. The mayor said a person who was taken into custody by law enforcement at the university where Kirk was speaking was not the suspect. Videos posted on social media from the Utah Valley University show Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone while sitting under a white tent emblazoned with slogans like "The American Comeback" and "Prove Me Wrong." A single shot rang out and Kirk can be seen reaching up with his right hand as a large volume of blood gushes from his neck. Of course, some spectators heard gasping, fled the scene. So
I'm really grateful for law enforcement who stepped in and got this taken care of as quickly as they are, because we do need to.
Okay, so this is the.
What are your thoughts on that? And the authorities in Utah do have this individual in custody, so potentially some good news with that. Mike, obviously this is a culmination of a lot of hard work from the law enforcement. Obviously that is good news that no other people potentially were harmed. What are your thoughts on that? And can you commend the law enforcement right now?
Well, I'm so grateful for that. In fact, I right now have a niece who is in lockdown right now at UVU. And then I've got other colleagues who've got children there. So I'm really grateful for law enforcement who stepped in and got this taken care of as quickly as they are, because we do need to keep that campus safe for those kids.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That is so very true, and you can see this is a live picture and potentially any moment now. I think they're about to give a mic check real briefly. So, Mike, thank you so much for your time here live now from Fox. I appreciate your time. I'm glad, obviously, your family is safe.
We'll hear from the FBI in touch with me.
Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're working in unison.
It's weird that they're cutting to live footage after he's talking to the guy that they caught somebody. Like, this guy doesn't know yet. Isn't that weird? Like, are they playing audio? Because I know, like, you know, everybody's like, conspiracy fucking antenna goes up immediately if something gets just out of sequence or somebody has information that somebody else doesn't have, and they're like, they're hiding it or some shit like that, because not everybody's on the same fucking page, because that's life.
With the county sheriff's office, the local police department, and the university police department, all of which have been very cooperative and fully engaged in this process. Shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual.
Yeah, I gotta say, isn't that weird?
This is
like,
a tragic moment.
This guy is saying this after Kash Patel said they have somebody in custody.
In our state and in our country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who is struggling with news of the incident to call 988, our state mental health crisis line. In addition to that, our partners with the FBI will also be discussing other ways we can communicate through the public for tips and other information. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence.
Okay, this is odd because this is like before, like after Patel said that they have somebody in custody, they're all talking about this guy being at large. This is according to the New York Times right now. Rooftop video. Videos recorded before and after the shooting show a person on the roof of the Losi Center about 150 yards from where Kirk was shot. And an onlooker says they saw someone run across the roof and lie down. And again, this doesn't mean anything because people could be like watching the event from up there or filming. It could be anybody from his staff. Like there's always that kind of stuff too at these where people are positioning themselves around to get video of stuff. So it may be the shooter. It just might not be. Right? In one, an onlooker says he saw someone run across the roof and lie down, pointing out the visible outline of that person. In a second video, the person can be seen rushing away from the spot immediately after the shooting, which, by the way, everybody rushes away right after the shooting. So, but it very well may be them. But that's 150 yards away approximately. By the way, a lot of people have been talking about like how far this shot is. With a modern rifle with a scope, it's not difficult. And it's like he's sitting still. It is one of the reasons why a lot of politicians eschew having a podium and move around the entire time while they're on stage. Why the increasing numbers of politicians, if you've noticed over the years, don't give speeches at podiums the way Trump did. They walk around with a microphone talking to the crowd. And one of the reasons they do that is for safety, is because it's harder to get a beat on them or assume where they will be. And so this guy, yes, you don't even have to be that practiced a shooter. It's like at 150 yards, you can hit that with a scope and an AR-15 fairly easily. And if he was just aiming at his body mass, he managed to get him, and that was enough. Like he didn't have to fire again. It's terrible. Like it just doesn't take that much work. That's the thing. In Oswald's time, yeah, maybe you had to be a fucking amazing shooter. But these days, like rifles are so cheap and so good. You could get it, I could show somebody how to make a shot like that in very short order, especially a single shot. Like, it's not like it's, again, a moving target or something like this. So what's terrifying and what's sad is also how easy it is to inflict this kind of violence. So, yeah, so it's kind of all over the map, as I would, by the way, expect from fucking Trump's White House. And it's an indicator of just how fucking lazy and stupid Patel and Bondi and all that crowd are, that they can't even get it together about something of this import that's a fucking friend of theirs. Right? This is their friend who was killed. And Patel and the FBI and the locals are coming out and saying, we're still looking for the guy. And he's saying online, we caught him. Like he's looking at fucking, 2-hour-old fucking tweets. Yes. Anyways, Epstein files. So, ugh. All right. So I don't know if there's a...
To be clear, established.
On behalf of President Jimenez, who we've been communicating, he was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak.
Yeah, we know.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners.
No, you're not. No, you aren't. I mean, I'm sure they're working in conjunction with those folks, but don't thank Kash Patel. He just said you've already got the fucking guy.
As we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
How do you know? I would assume it is. But I also, do you know it was somebody who doesn't like his politics? Or do you think it was somebody over on the Fuentes side that's too far past where he is? All political assassinations are not created equal. Also, why the fuck would my politics or anybody who believes in my politics be on the hook for whoever the fuck shot this dude that I don't give a fuck about politically?
We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation.
Oh, man. Dude. Like, why don't you just say that everybody else who got shot in the last 7 months at a school or fucking work or, at rando, that wasn't, or that was rando political, like that wasn't targeted, it was just somebody fucking spraying gunfire, why is that not indicative of something that weighs on the country before our 250th?
That founding document, the Declaration of Independence.
Ugh.
That this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago.
We? Dude, you're in your early 40s.
That we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights.
All right, I'm getting annoyed. Dude, you don't even know whether your boss, the FBI, knows whether... Fuck me. He's 50? You know what I mean. Relax. This is so fucking gross. It's like, that's why I'm declaring my run for mayor.
The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to 2 young children.
Mm-hmm.
He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people.
Dude, you don't work for Turning Points USA. Figure out who did it, throw them in fucking jail, dissuade other people from doing it. You have a badge on. This is not an ad for TPUSA. This is fucking weird. We didn't shoot him. There's no they. Some asshole fucking with a rifle shot him. One shot, dead. Didn't open fire on everybody with him. Didn't open up fire on the crowd. They killed this guy. It was a targeted political assassination insofar as we know. And no one else is involved that you know of. And you haven't even found the fucking person who's done it. So stop laying it at the feet of fucking America and our divided politics. Fuck you. We have had political assassinations and violence of all sorts throughout our entire existence, as has every fucking country in the world, and it's not carried on the backs of every citizen because, oh dear, what have I done to contribute to to driving this shooter to feel like they should be comfortable shooting somebody in the fucking neck. Get out of here.
Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated.
All right, tell that to the kids in Kent State. Like, what are you talking about? It's also where most serial killers scooped up their victims in the 70s. What's your fucking point?
And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates.
Not anymore. And we know. By and large, all of us are against shooting people for shit they say.
That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights.
Good Lord.
And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals,
It's more important than when they just shoot them at fucking random for being in the wrong supermarket or at a high school.
Then that very constitutional foundation is threatened.
No, it isn't. No, it fucking isn't. One person with a gun does not have the power to dismantle our entire fucking system, and you don't get the right to say they do. You do not get to... This asshole is insisting that the fuckhead who shot Charlie Kirk should have more power and more influence, and that everybody in our entire system should hang on it, that if one person can shoot another person, our whole system's at risk. It's fucking not. Don't kill people for what they say. Words aren't violence. Put down the fucking guns. Learn to argue your point, you asshole. Because you didn't do this when fucking Gabby Gifford got shot. You shrugged it off. You only give a shit when it's Charlie Kirk and Steve Scalise. So you don't care about the system. You don't care about political violence. You care about it when you're the target of it. Find the guy or the girl. Put them in fucking jail forever. And everybody else, get back to just arguing shit online. I am not on the hook, nor are you, for some fucking rando who's got nothing better to do with their life than to take somebody else's. Ever. It's like if one person can drive drunk and crash their car, then everybody drinking at a bar who's not in a vehicle and everyone who's sober driving a vehicle has to question their very existence.
Now, we have a person of interest in custody.
Apparently he didn't know that.
The investigation is ongoing.
I would hope so.
But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you.
If we haven't already.
We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law.
The furthest extent, right.
And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Yes, we know. Like, somebody just got killed for talking in your state. By the way, I'm against the death penalty, whether the state provides the means or some rando fuckhead decides it's their turn. I'm against the death penalty. Fuck the Utah judicial system that thinks they have the right to put anyone to death because you can't fucking unring that bell. People stay dead forever. So fuck that. And fuck Luigi. And fuck whoever shot Charlie Kirk. Do you understand? Now and forever.
Our nation is broken.
No, it isn't. No, it fucking isn't. No, one person with a gun does not have the right or the power to break my whole fucking country, you unpatriotic prick. Shut the fuck up. Hold on one second. I've got to who is it? RGD? Fuck Luigi and his bullshit. No. Murder is murder. And if you think what he did was right, I don't want to hear shit from you when the state executes an innocent man. I don't want to hear it. Because you don't believe, you don't think it's a problem. You don't. Why the fuck would you give a shit if somebody was tried, found guilty, but is still innocent, and they're killed in the electric chair, but you don't give a shit when somebody extrajudicially blows somebody away in the middle of the street? Get the fuck out of here. No. You either have a standard or you don't. What a bunch of bullshit. Kind of weak, murderous crap. The fuck out of here. And again, by the way, None of these motherfuckers ever solve anything. None of them. Yes, that Charlie Kirk. Welcome to the show. Anybody who's just joining. Charlie Kirk, the head of Turning Points USA, the host of the Charlie Kirk Show, the guy we've made fun of in videos, balloon head and all that kind of stuff, the guy with the big head and the small face, all that guy is dead. He was shot by somebody that they may or may not, according to this flippant fuck and these ridiculous, incompetent assholes we have running our government right now, they may or may not have the right guy in custody right now, but if they don't, they will get him, and if they do, they'll put him to death so that we never know, who paid him. Like, it's just stupid. No. I'm against killing people. Okay? Unless it's in self-defense and it's direct. Piss off. And this dude is fanboying. He's not being a professional police officer right now. Or like a sheriff's department, is the FBI?
We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had...
Yes, and Charlie's buddies made fun of them.
An attempted assassination
against Nancy Pelosi's husband, and they also made fun of that.
Governor of Pennsylvania.
They tried to burn his house down. Mm-hmm.
And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can...
And an attempt at killing the husband and the longest running female speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and her husband. Don't forget them, because that guy was only going to be killed until she got home, so he could kill both of them.
And unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say.
Then shut up and stick to the details. The badge itself is like wearing a cross. You're not here to be political. Give the details and then shut the fuck up.
Can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation.
Okay, now I'm really aggravated. Hold on. Hold on one second. I'm looking something up. All right. Utah had the 25th highest firearm death rate in the U.S. Right there in the middle, the median of America. Right, just average gun deaths in Utah. Gunfire was the second leading cause of death for Utah children in 2023. The second leading cause of death in Utah for children is gunfire. "26 children died by gunfire in Utah in 2023. 414 people in Utah died by suicide with a firearm in 2023. There were 2 mass shootings in 2024. This is from, by the way, this is from Action Fund, the Sandy Hook family's site, sandyhookpromise.org. Why aren't you coming out there going, I can't believe in Utah the second biggest cause of death for our children is gunfire? In fucking Utah. Honestly, I'm like this, unless this guy doesn't have any details worth having. I think
so
they take
that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in?
Yeah, the reporter is all of us right now.
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now. We do.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Are you still searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about
Then you're not looking for... Fuck me. Then you're not looking for somebody... Jesus Christ. Okay, so here's currently what the Daily Beast is reporting. Person of interest caught after Charlie Kirk assassination. A single shot was fired at the Trump rally, Trump ally, beg your pardon. Subject of this, again, then they're quoting Kash Patel. A gunman fired a single shot at Kirk as he spoke to hundreds of students at the college campus in Utah shortly after noon on Wednesday. The shot was fired from the Losey Center, a building about 200 yards away. Spokesperson from Utah Valley University told the New York Times. That's where the amphitheater is. The Losey building is this one right here. They were on the upper part of this, in theory. And nobody's saying, like, they could be all the way back here or they could be right up here. It's hard to say. I guess because it slants down, they're going to be closer to the edge than not, but whatever. The law enforcement quickly launched a manhunt. Utah governors confirmed that a person of interest was in custody at the briefing. It caused some confusion following Patel's post by saying the manhunt was still active. Right, that's what we're watching right now. They said there's no reason to believe there are multiple suspects. So again, but there's a they. Like one person does it. They have this person of interest in custody, but let's see. To be perfectly blunt, it felt like so much blood came out of his neck immediately, and then we all took to the ground. I can't tell you what happened immediately after. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen the video of it. I don't recommend looking at it, but good Lord. It was like, it was an explosion of blood from his body. It was really brutal. So that's why, like, watching that, I knew immediately. I was like, that they're not prepped to take care of him. This is not like a medical hospital where they had someplace close by. The chances of them even listing him as, like, when they were saying he was in critical condition, I was like, my guess is that he was DOA when he got there, and they were just trying everything they could because he was important to the president, so they kept working on him. But yeah, and on Shitter right now, everything is Charlie Kirk, prayers for Charlie, the left, evil murderers, the evil left, whatever. It's hard to, let's see, the latest. Let's see. Is this person okay? Let's see. Okay. There's film of them, like, arresting different people, and with the assumption being, here we go. This is one of the videos that people are saying might have been the shooter. This guy, white jacket, white hat, and whether they show it, I don't know if there's a rifle right there. See that rifle up against the car? I don't know if, and again, everything about this is so fucking slapdash. And they arrested, like, an older dude earlier and believed it was him or whatever, but it might have been, they might have grabbed the older dude because the guy who actually shot it was old, right? And in chat room, if you guys see anything, feel free to let me know. That was the governor? Okay, that makes sense. But they are, I don't know, going through this guy's belongings. They've locked him up. This is, I don't know what they're fucking emptying out, and they're putting in an evidence bag. what is it, ammo magazines or something like that. It's hard to say. Somebody else is trying to film this down the street and get a angle of it. I mean, okay, so everybody thinks that might be the rifle. This guy's moving. See that? Yeah. So this is I don't know. My wife was there, and a friend was able to capture this of the potential shooter. Rifle seen around the 120-minute mark. Yeah, that's the. This would be this moment right here. Let me bring it out. There you go. That would be it. Yeah, that's a deer rifle. It's just standard hunting rifle. And again, at that range, yeah, it looks like he had the means to make a silencer or a suppressor, like just foam to make a suppressor or something. Yeah, Zim was booked for obstruction and released because he was just like wasting their time or something. But yeah, that could very well possibly be the rifle. Insofar as I can see, the person, let's see if we can back it up. They're looking through the person's belongings. This is the individual that they're booking in this situation. The assumption is that this might be the quote person of interest that they have right now. Doesn't mean he is the guy. Again, he doesn't seem to be protesting much if that isn't his gun. I think most of us would be, screaming to high heaven if we're like, that's not a 22, no. Yeah, so that very well may be the person. I don't know what it says on their, I think their hats is something football on it. Like it, and again, these could just be blend-in clothes that the person had. He could have brought shit to swap out into and tried to walk away. And they're going into a bag he had with him. And this and they're transferring the stuff in that personal bag into an evidence bag. Which again, I don't know. I don't know what their SOP is here, their standard operating procedure. And again, they're like, it's so hard to tell on in so many fronts chat room whether or not that's the actual person. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Like, people are dicking around with this, like, yeah. Yeah, people are dicking around saying that, air rifle or nonsense. No. And then this is the video that people think shows a person on the rooftop, which again, it's so hard to say, but this would be where they were in theory. And then, I don't know if they get up and run away. What the hell? No relation to me in that building. I'm just saying, for the record, that I'm aware of. Let's see. Yeah, it's like people. Yeah, it's always so hard in these situations. Kind of like stuff after the Butler shooting when people were all over the fucking place. Yeah, and then there was this video of supposedly somebody running across a rooftop, and everybody was like, maybe he's just, everybody was running. What the fuck? Let's see. So a guy getting arrested, distraction, help the killer. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yes. Let me show you how like fucked up. Like this is the fucking. This is what people are looking at. Hey, I see the shooter running across the fucking room. Okay, get over yourself. And again, this kind of rush and necessity of like finding out, you know, right away as if it will change the facts on the ground. And again, if they, you know, whatever happens, you're in theory, you're going to find out unless they have, they start suppressing it. And that's the odd part. We'll see how fast they do it. My guess is if they think they can prove it's somebody left wing or related, they'll dump it immediately. We'll know immediately. If they drag their heels at all, then it's curiously right wing or not easily pegged to one particular thing. Hold on. Yeah. I'm hunting down some of this other stuff, but Jared Brian sent you 2 texts. Oh, okay, thank you. I don't have my phone in front of me because I'm a bit of the man. Hold on, attachment 1 video, boink. Oh yeah, so the video that I was talking about of him running across a rooftop that everybody has is like grainy, and it doesn't prove that anybody that was the shooter. Ultimately, it doesn't quite matter. If they've got him, they've got him. If they don't, then if that's the person and why they were running, then that will be part of the evidence, or it won't. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let's see if... Yeah, I saw both of those videos, Boston Brian. And these guys are like doubling down everywhere on, on the left and violence in the left. That's all shitter's talking about currently. And that shouldn't be surprising. Well, like I said, in every circumstance in this, it's 100% we'll see. But and I'm gonna see if they say shooter in custody specifically, or if they start giving information. But like I said, you can kind of track whether or not they think it's cut and dry by how fast they will release this information. I mean, again. It's a terrible fucking thing for his wife and his 2 daughters and his family. It's just it's just so fucking gross. But like I said, it will do the Trump administration plenty of good, hiding from, helping them avoid talking about the Epstein files for a good while. This is Commissioner said the gunshot came from here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to look at the updates that are currently happening in this. Yeah, they're all looking at the same stuff we just looked at and kind of referencing it. Most of what's happening. Utah Department of Public Safety said the gunshot came from here on campus, appeared to be a long-distance shot from a roof. They are scouring security footage. George W. Bush issued a statement saying a young man was murdered in cold blood while expressing his political views. It happened on a college campus where the open exchange of opposing ideas should be sacrosanct. Violence and vitriol must be purged from the public square. Agreed. Members of other political parties are not our enemies. They are our fellow citizens. May God bless Charlie Kirk and his family. May God guide America towards civility. Well, I suppose that just is. What are we all left to just wish for fifth stage syphilis to take its toll? Yeah. There is, and again, one of the things I hate about this kind of like breaking news shit is that it really doesn't have any value until you've had time to digest it. The thing will be the thing will be the thing. It's the reality is not going to change from this point forward. When someone is dead, the details freeze in place. And the goal should be get who did it, put them behind bars, try to make sure it doesn't happen again in all of these situations. And it's very frustrating when people are on and on about, when it happens to Charlie Kirk. But again, gun violence is the second highest cause of death of Utah children. So is that a conversation worth having? You bet your ass. It's a conversation that has value because the ramifications of it going forward are incredible and will affect the lives of children from now until guns are no longer a thing. So, yeah, in Utah's open carry because they think it's all macho bullshit. I think everybody should be able to walk around. One of the problems with open carry is it allows people who want to do this kind of violence to get as close to their target as they want without being bothered by the police. One of the reasons why you don't allow open carry is not because people don't have the right to have a gun. It's so that the cops can walk over and go, hey, buddy, where you headed with that thing? Why are you walking around with a fucking gun strapped over your shoulder? Without violating their Second Amendment rights. Right? You don't have to worry about that. Just go, what the fuck? But in a state with open carry, you're not even allowed to do that. The cops can't do it. Cops can't walk up to somebody with a gun going, hey, buddy, why are you walking around with a fucking gun? Because in Utah, you'll get a none of your goddamn business, and they'll be right. It's a fucking mistake. The police should be able to, if you're walking around with a fucking gun anywhere, the police should be able to walk and go, hey, man, you got a permit to carry? You got a reason why you're walking around with a fucking gun? Because I noticed you're kind of dilly-dallying near the school or dilly-dallying near the fucking church or waiting for somebody to leave the door of the bank open for a couple of seconds. What are you doing? Waiting for a fucking Brinks truck to show up so you can take it? Why do you need a gun in the middle of the fucking day when there's no war going on and you can't hunt downtown? Open carry is just a gift to shooters who want to get close to their target so they don't have to try as hard. If you have a gun, the police should be able to walk up and go, where are you going? What are you doing? Why do you need that? We live in a fucking civil society in theory. So what the fuck are you doing walking around with a gun like that? Anybody. Because your answer might be, it's all right, guys, I got a permit. Here it is. Okay, cool. Have a nice day. What's your name again? My name's Gary. Okay, well, Gary, if I see you again, just wave so I know what's up. We don't want somebody, who's fucking snapped walking around with a fucking AR-15 and a shit ton of ammo dangling in front of the church waiting for a fucking wedding to get out because we don't know that somebody's got a restraining order against them. Fucking Gary. Hold on. Somebody was... what about Libras? Yeah, I know. There's no permit required to open carry in Utah. So how the fuck do you stop people from walking up to whatever environment? Again, every for the most part, every mass shooter we've seen in the last little bit especially has been a legal gun owner up to the second they open fire on citizens. Right? They're a completely legal gun owner until they start murdering people. So maybe the rules shouldn't be loosened. Maybe you should take guns at least as seriously as you take cars. Now, there is no fundamental right to own a car in the Constitution. There is no, 10 and 2 amendment that says you have the right to own a car and the government shall not abridge the right to own a car, by any means, the way it says that about arms. However, it does say a bunch of shit about a well-regulated militia being necessary. And so maybe the well-regulated part should be taken more seriously. And if you're a lawful gun owner, what are you fucking afraid of? The government knowing you have guns? I got news for you, asshole. They already do. You know how they know you've got all the guns that you've got, that it's not a fucking secret? They bought the information from Google, dipshit. They know exactly how many guns you have. But the registering part is you participating in civil society. The difference is that the government goes, hey, this guy's got a bunch of registered guns and he's a big gun advocate. So, when we, approach him at work or whatever about this issue, we got to be aware of that. Versus this dude has 35 guns and this many rounds of ammunition. We know because he bought it through the mail. And we know exactly where he keeps them in his house because of thermal radar. And he thinks nobody knows. So approach with caution. Now, the question is Trump going to send the National Guard into Utah? Am I calling you uncivilized? Yes, if you won't participate in civil society and you want to walk around with a fully loaded rifle where there are children and elderly people and folks trying to do their fucking job and drive a bus and own a cafe and run a print shop and that kind of stuff, and you're walking around like you're in fucking Fallujah, yes. Grow the fuck up. Want to carry a gun? Get deputized. Do a shift. You want to have a gun in your house? Cool. Lock it up. If it gets stolen, tell somebody. Yeah, Utah will probably expand gun rights in the face of this. I saw somebody mention Hal, he was a racist. Yeah, being a racist is not a capital offense. I would rather convince people not to be racist than just assassinate them for being racist, even if that's your argument. That's fucking gross. Honest to God, that is so awful. The unraveling that you're speaking to in that situation, you don't have to miss him, but you also don't have to jump on board with the circumstances of his death. You don't have to co-sign murder. These can be two separate thoughts you're allowed to have. You can go, murdering someone is wrong. That's why I'm against gun violence everywhere. Right? No matter how it happens. And you'd think in a sane world, you'd be able to at least use what happened and go, I don't want that to happen to any father with kids, for example. even if I don't like them. Do you understand? I don't want people murdered while they're talking, ever. I'm not just upset when it's my side. I'm not just upset when they're saying what I like. What fucking kind of immoral bullshit is that? You don't... just like I was saying, like the shooter does not get to define society. We're torn apart because some dipshit shot some other dipshit. That's not how it works. None of us are on the hook for that exchange. We didn't participate in it, and we're not going to. What I would like is for shit like that not to happen. That we can settle all this on the, in the Coliseum of ideas. But I don't need somebody killed because I'm tired of arguing a point with them. It's fucking terrible. And if my point only wins because the people who are against it have been killed, my point sucks. My side doesn't deserve to win if it requires murder. If I need the opposition dead for my shit to succeed, then my shit does not deserve to succeed. And none of this shit defines the rest of us. Nobody gets to hang that shingle around anybody else's neck. Fuck that noise. Stargal saying the human race is regressing. No, we're not. This shit always happens. We haven't gotten past it yet. We didn't shake it off. Ask MLK or John Lennon or fucking Reagan or fucking maybe Trump last year or whatever, right? It's still there. We haven't gotten past it yet. We're still doing the work as humans to get past it. And so far we've been unsuccessful, but we have to keep trying. What if the shooter was MAGA? Well, I mean, again, it's entirely possible. Look at the two shooters who went after Trump. Both of those guys were mad because Trump didn't go far enough. Which is, again, the big problem when you run a fucking cult, man. One of these days, they're either going to see that you're a liar and kill you because you're blowing it for the cause, or you're blowing their cult high, or they're gonna, if you go against it, and if you're going for it but you're not going as fast as they want you to, or as hard as they want you to, or they thought you would do more. Feel for his children and his wife, yeah. Sorry, this blazes by. I'm trying to catch up with the chat in here. Sorry, Water and After says, let's be honest, Hal, your rights are not being taken away by the right wing. Many of us are losing our rights to these people. Yeah, so what, do I get more points for fighting for them because they're not my rights too? And secondly, what? Sorry, you think I only want these rights to apply to people that look or sound like me? And you think I believe the answer is murder, or that I should? Like, then how is that any different than the people who cheer the people who killed Harvey Milk? How is it different? Right? They thought he was part of the gay agenda. Right? What about the Democrats that were shot in Minneapolis? A bunch of right-wingers think these people were trying to push communism and all kinds of stuff. Just because they believed as deeply that that those people were trying to take their rights and freedoms away as Americans? Did that make them right because they believed it? No. You don't have to like my standard either, but I stand by it. My ideas as a Democrat and the things that I want them because they will help all people. And I have faith that people don't have to be murdered for me to get my fucking point across. Period. And the death of, somebody like Charlie Kirk not only is a gross manipulation of the political will of the people of this country, it's also abject violence towards a human being that's unnecessary, and it doesn't help. It's going to make things worse. It is going to give Trump and his asshole buddies more leeway to inflict more violence on more people. So much so that I think there's more in it for somebody to do somebody in like Charlie Kirk on his side than there is on the other political side. They will gain more from it. So no, I'm not going to participate in this like cosplay French Revolution bullshit that everybody falls back on, that they have about as much commitment to as I hope an asteroid hits the Earth. No. I love people, I love life, I love my country, and I love my family, and I'm not going to sacrifice it all and go, well, it's all got to burn down. We got to start from scratch. You don't believe it. It's bullshit. It's lazy. And at its worst, it's ethically mortifying. It's horrifying. It's a terrible way to be. No, I'm not going to co-sign evil because it allegedly somehow benefits my side. Get the fuck out of here. No. And the thing is, I got to tell you, you want to find people that will say the opposite of what I'm saying? The internet is littered with them. You don't have to look hard to find people with flexible morality about the death of their fellow Americans or their fellow human beings that will go, well, I don't like it when it happens on my side, but when it happens to their side, it's God's will. Get the fuck out of here. No. Honest to God, there are plenty of those people. You don't have to look hard. You know why? Because it's easy and weak and lazy. Yeah, they're going to make him a martyr, and the people who are shitting on him are helping them do it. Other than that, I have no opinion. I'm gonna, by the way, since this is a moving story and that stuff, and I don't have enough time to get into like videos and talk tonight, I'm gonna call the show tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And we'll all monitor this story as it happens. But this idea of like spending too much time getting out over your skis or arguing these points in the heat of this doesn't benefit anyone. And I think the talking about something with the depth of morality required in this, in a situation like this, with people that can't even handle the 2 marshmallow problem, the delayed gratification thing online, is a waste of everyone's time. So we'll all find out what happened, and we'll all, using what actually happened, come to terms with what we can learn from it, what we can take from it, and any strategies we might find in it. And I think the biggest lesson that we can take from this is it ate all the conversation while 3 kids were in critical condition after being shot at a fucking high school in Denver. That ate everyone's vitriol today. That ate everyone's attention today. And even if it hadn't, the Denver shooting would be a distant memory tomorrow afternoon. And that's something we can contemplate. That is something we can come to terms with. And one of the things that the people who are like cheerleading this violence or flippantly, saying it's exactly what should happen, should understand that whoever shot up that school, critically injuring 2 of those students and themselves, thought the same thing about whatever their reasoning was. They think the same thing you do. I could solve this with violence. Just a little bit more violence will solve it. Not a lot, Just a little. And it never does. It always helps the opposite side. It always goes against whoever pulls it off. It always does. Nobody's cheerleading. Get off your soapbox. Yes, they are, Andre. Yes, they are. So are the fucking, like, the pro-Luigi guys, all that kind of shit. That's what you're doing. Just a little more violence. And you think it'll stop. You think it'll stop at a little more violence. Which most of the time comes from people who have no experience in their life with real violence. Be better than that. Because you can be. Takes a little bit of work. But you can. Otherwise, you will give the shooters and the Charlie Kirks of the world exactly what they want. A little more violence. Count me out. If you need to be defended, I'll do it for you.
The screen glows bright with a crooked smile. Words spill out. All venom. No
Hug somebody close, take care of somebody, reach out to a friend, tell them you miss them.
They rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight. Shadows whisper in the dead of night.
Hit that subscribe, hit that like, share the show. See you guys tomorrow afternoon.